The Vostok program was a Soviet space program project that ran from 1960 to 1963 and achieved many amazing milestones in spaceflight, including placing the first man in space, the first woman in space, and the first joint flight of two different crewed orbiters. The Soviet Union secretly pursued the Vostok program in competition with the United States Project Mercury. The Vostok rocket derived from the Soviet R-7 ICBM and was designed for the human spaceflight program. It was a subset of the R-7 family of rockets. The development of the R-7 began in 1953, led by Sergei Korolev. Korolev is the counterpart of von Braun. Now, question for you guys. Who is a better rocket scientist in your opinion? Is it Korolev or von Braun? Comment down below. I'm excited to see your thoughts. I actually made a Twitter poll about it the other day. It looks like von Braun wins. Personally, I appreciate the work of von Braun, and I think that he definitely had the edge in results. But I have to give Korolev my vote between these two. It's not that I don't appreciate von Braun or think that Korolev built better rockets. It's that Korolev managed to make things work so well with so much less to work with it. Now the engines. The engines were designed by Valentin Glushko. Glushko is a Soviet engineer and designer of rocket engines during the Soviet-American space race. The Vostok K was built from the R-7 and added a third stage. It uses a kerosene and liquid oxygen engine. It uses a single hydrogen peroxide powered turbo pump to feed the propellant into 4 different combustion chambers. It produces a thrust of approximately 834 kilonewtons per booster at surface level. The first stage is composed of 4 independent boosters. Each of these boosters were powered by an RD-107 rocket engine. Each RD-107 engine has small vernier thrusters to aid and guide the rocket during space flight. So after burning for 108 seconds, these boosters would be ejected by pyrotechnic charges, creating a so-called Korolev's cross as the 4 boosters spun away from the rest of the rocket in mid-flight. Now for the second stage is powered by a single RD-108 engine. The same engine as the RD-107, but it has a 4 vernier rockets arranged symmetrically around it. This provides full control authority to the stage. The third stage is powered by a single liquid oxygen kerosene RD-109 engine. The engine has 4 smaller nozzles, giving the stage the control authority required for the final phase of its 365-second long burn. Now it's funny that they also named Vostok Spacecraft. The Vostok Spacecraft was composed of 2 individual modules. Now let's talk about the instrument section and the descent system. The instrument section contained the propulsion systems of Vostok, as well as the batteries to power the spacecraft and the thermal management system for life support. It is equipped with a single S5.4 engine composed of 1 main combustion chamber and 4 verniers for orientation control. This engine alone was responsible for deorbiting the vessel and returning the cosmonauts safely to Earth. The Vostok was stacked with enough supplies to support the cosmonaut for 10 days in space. Now the descent uses an umbilical and ejectable metal straps named Sharik, or Little Sphere. Its distinctive format was chosen to simplify atmospheric reentry. All sides of the module were covered in thermal protection, with the entry hatch being physically bolted closed with the cosmonaut inside on the launch pad. Vostok could be piloted entirely autonomously and could have its controls locked away from the cosmonaut until a 3-digit safety code was inputted to release them. Vostok had remarkable missions, including Yuri Gagarin, and was the first spaceflight of the Vostok program and the first spaceflight in history. Also, Vostok took the first woman in space, Valentina Tereshkova. The Vostok program was cancelled and eventually replaced by the Soyuz program, which is still operational today. Hope you learned something from this episode of Engine Chill, and many thanks to our patrons. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up, and this has been Static Firecall. See you on the next Engine Chill.